With the help of this systematic review, we try to identify influence factors. The review of the situation, including the details about the market situation, the labor market and the competences in media and entertainment industry, all of them form the basis to identify the influence factors. Influence factors are main drivers which play a significant role for the entire industry, how this industry develop in the future. We analyze deeply the findings from the review of the current industry situation and identified in sum 37 influence factors. The next step includes the identification of key factors. This step is necessary to reduce the number of influence factors to a manageable amount. An influence analysis, which is shown on the left part of the slide, is used to show the importance of each factor. The aim is to find out key factors which are strongly implemented in the main system. In sum, we found 10 key factors which are marked with a red circle. These factors have a great impact on other influence factors. In the next step, we use the identified 10 key factors and projected each key factor in 3 different ways, how the key factor could develop in the future. The time horizon for this projection was 2015. Finally, we linked alternative projections of each key factor in the way that they are consistent. Therefore, we used a software tool to calculate combinations of projections on a cluster analysis basis. This cluster analysis provided the information which projection bundles are fitting best and show unique characteristics. If you look at the right figure, the cluster analysis show that there are 3 main scenarios that have significant differences. 3 different scenarios were formed by the software-based cluster analysis. To make them more communicative, we named them. Scenario 1 is named Open University, and Scenario 2 is named Creative Disorientation in the Technological Society. Both show a positive picture of the future. Scenario 3 instead is called Downpricing and Cocooning and describes a negative development. Due to presentation time, I will only shortly characterize the scenarios. In our conference paper, we discussed them more intensively. Scenario 1, Open University, is characterized by a cooperative thinking. The excess supply of qualitatively bad products has been reduced. The willingness to pay for media products is high, and the level of digital piracy is extremely low. The graduates in the media and entertainment sector are trained to become specialists who closely cooperate with specialists of related sectors. Universities have been considered to be long-term cooperation partners of media companies. In Scenario 2, Creative Disorientation in the Technological Society, mostly technology providers are the driver of innovation. Media and entertainment companies react upon technological pressure. Engagements in cooperation are entered only in a hesitating manner. Small and medium companies are rather bought by media groups to protect the existing fields of business. But the demand of media professionals is increasing in the technological companies and in other sectors. Technology providers are willing to develop all media competences, but missing standards of training content lead to a tangle of study programs in the educational institutions. The Scenario 3, Downpricing and Cocooning, describes a working environment characterized by low-paid jobs with a high workload. In such a future, ruinous competition, bad quality of products and contents, as well as massive data protection violations of personalized offers lead to a downward spiral. At the end, the user resigns facing new media technologies and offers. In the labor market, high cost pressure and the quality demands that are getting lower and lower pave the way for unprofessional autodidacts accepting commissions and incomes below the minimum level. The pirate copy market is prospering. Now we put the scenarios in relation with the identified media-related competences. As we have seen, the 3 scenarios differ in their projections of the key influence factors. This results in extremely different settings of market conditions. This implicates that also specific competences differ in their occurrence and intensity from scenario to scenario. Due to the description of the scenario-specific market conditions, we relate the media-specific competences 3 slides ago to each particular scenario. Of course, some scenarios imply specific competences, meanwhile in other scenarios the same competences are less prominent or even inconsistent. In scenario 1, to a great extent all professional competences, methodological competences and personal social competences, which are mentioned in the media competence setting, are in line with the scenario description. In scenario 2, we observed a lack of some competences. These are mainly competences which would lead to more networking and integration of new knowledge. Moreover, there hardly exists any openness for changes and curiosity. In scenario 3, there exists the same absence of competences like in scenario 2. Moreover, there are missing competences that would stimulate more courage for innovation, a higher standard of product or service quality, as well as more professionalism. This is the reason why this scenario is more negative. We come to the following conclusion. In the positive scenarios, media representatives need a variety of different competences. The more positive a scenario, the higher are the requirements on competence development. Focusing on specific competences makes only sense if existing competences will not be disregarded. I will close this presentation with a summary. In this study we try to focus on the future of the media and entertainment industry from the perspectives of employees and media representatives. Because recent studies in this field concentrate on the current requirements for work in the media, we use the foresight scenario method to project possible future scenarios of the market. Therefore, we use the data of a broad literature review and the results from interviews to develop a specific media-related competence portfolio. We projected 3 different sources with the help of a software-based tool. According to the different scenarios, different market conditions arise that demand for different competence bundles. We think that this innovative method has some useful advantages compared with similar studies. First, this method broadens the horizon of the reader to think more about the future and the impact of today's actions. To make future predictions, the researcher is forced to get deep insight of the industry specifics. Due to this, the competence researcher sees competence always in combination, not separate, with the market he or she is referring to. Second, as mentioned in the competence literature, framework conditions and situations play a significant role in the development of competences. We conclude that studies of future competences are incomplete if they do not consider framework conditions. Thus, scenarios provide more information about the context and the relation between certain developments and their implications for competences. Third, the scenarios and their implications offer a time advantage for institutions that provide degree programs or other qualifications in the study. They can transfer the results in order to develop specific curricula or to adapt current teaching content. Nevertheless, the study has some limits and disadvantages. It has always to keep in mind that scenarios may not become reality. The future is fluid, and therefore the scenario approach is always a tool to create awareness for changes today and their impact on tomorrow. It is necessary to constantly scan the environment. Another critical point is not necessarily linked with the scenario approach, but with the field of competences. The existing models of competences are often inconsistent, abstract, and show methodological weakness. In practice, these models lead to more confusion than to a clearer view. A disadvantage appears because of the sector characteristics itself. The media and entertainment market is extremely heterogeneous. As sub-media markets, for example print, games, music, etc., have different requirements and competences, these sub-markets will develop rather differently. Further, Research using this approach should focus more on homogeneous markets, for example one specific submedia market. This develops a better understanding to address particular teaching content in a more detailed way. Now we reached the end of the presentation. I apologize if not every aspect could be discussed here in detail because of time reasons. If you have any questions about this presentation or about this study, please do not hesitate to contact us. Have a lot of fun on the conference in Japan, and maybe we will meet on other conferences. This is Martin Kamprad from the University of Potsdam, Germany.